So
Thank you
good
so
evening,
much.
everybody.
Sorry.
Good evening. Um, if you can all mute yourself right now so that we can start the presentation, and we'll record Marius and on celebrations. And at the end, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and we will look at them when we finish the recording and talk about those together. So good evening. We welcome Marius, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. It's a pleasure to be with you all here tonight, and I really hope I can fill the gap from Rainer, because I'm pretty sure that he will do he probably will do that what I'm doing now much better than I do it. But I'm trying my best to cover his time now. But I would like to share with you something I prepared for you, and I hope it will be okay. The presentation, just a moment. Okay, family celebrations. The holidays are coming, and many people are preparing for a very special time in their families, celebrating and enjoying this time of the year. Even though I have to confess myself, I'm a pastor in Romania, but I grew up in a time when there was a different regime in Romania, communist time, and we didn't have too many celebrations back then. I remember my birthday gifts always were things I needed, like shoes or clothes. Or I remember that I still have this in my mind. It's like it's a bug in my head sometimes. My parents usually bought me shoes which were one size bigger, so I can wear it longer time. And I had to put some white cotton in the front of the leg, so the feet will not come out of the shoe. I was feeling like a clown walking around. It was, but also I remember that the traditional religious holidays or celebrations, this Christmas and Easter, they were nothing more than just a pagan holiday for the church in Romania then, and they are still, and they were just occasion for missionary work. We usually had concerts in the church, and we do carols in the people's homes. So we will share the gospel with them, using that opportunity not as a celebration for ourselves, but more like a missionary opportunity for the church. I can tell you that Thanksgiving, I didn't even know that existed. It was something unusual. I mean, I didn't hear about this until late in age. I think the best celebration thing we had was the Sabbath. The opening of the Sabbath was a good, rich meal, and we gather all together as a family, and we were singing, and we were preparing for the church, or we came from the church and we start to sing, and sometimes we were singing Friday evening many hours. My mother was a soprano. No, my sister was sopranos. My mother was an alto. My father was tenor, and I was bass. So we were singing as a choir or a quartet or quintet for a long time. But frankly, we didn't have much to celebrate. As a child, I don't recall many celebrations, but I can tell you that when I met Alina, my wife, she's my wife since 23 years, I began better to understand what it means to celebrate. I can tell you that. She was coming from Norway. She was living there for 4 years, and she came with some new and very interesting customs, if I can say that. She showed me how can you enjoy life by celebrating. It was something strange, but I can tell you it was really interesting. It got my attention. I realized how small things or occasions can make a big difference in someone's life. And with a little effort, you can make the sunshine in somebody's eyes. But I can tell you some more. And Karen, you have to excuse me for this, but I like to say it because I've never seen a person more creative on celebrating things as you. is you, Karen. Reading your books, it was like, come on, how can you think of so many things to do just to show appreciation, just to celebrate somebody in so many different ways. So I tell you, you open the eyes for me in this way also, and I'm grateful also. I would like to start by telling you some of the benefits of the family celebration I discovered, because healthy families always celebrates. It's one of the things I've learned, and I want to, if you can remember only this phrase or these next two or three phrases I tell you, I'm grateful. Healthy families celebrate. They need to celebrate, and celebrations always creates even healthier families. Why? There are some benefits we have to be aware of. The first one is that celebration fosters an abundant life, family life filled with joy. You remember there's a text in the Bible in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22, where it says that a cheerful heart is a good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. It's sometimes celebration is just fun. It's just having fun, being together and having a good time together, which is a very important thing for some of us, because we miss this and we need this. In the period of time when the things are not so easily done, life is not so easy, it's so complex, it's so full, to celebrate, to take time to celebrate, to stop and celebrate, to make it a habit. It fosters an abundant family life filled with joy. Also, the second thing is that it helps family to balance their approach to one another and life. You know, for me, it was interesting to find out or to realize that, you know, life sometimes doesn't have to be so serious. Celebration sometimes means that you don't take yourself or others too seriously. In a way, it frees them or you to experiment with new activities, to explore a little bit around you, the world around you, and to learn about themselves and one another, because you know, sometimes you get unbalanced. You look at your wife and you start to think that she's only how can I say in English, unhappy, let's say it this way, that anything you do, everything you do, it doesn't matter, it's not enough, it's not good enough. But when you celebrate, when you take time to make fun, to have fun, to do something different that you are doing, you start to see things that you usually don't see, or you just, sometimes it's just balancing your approach. You see things differently, and you need this celebration. Also, celebration enhances and restores intimacy in your family, because it helps us to set aside disagreements we have, at least for a time. It's a way that we can experience joy with someone which we disagree with. You know, you don't always agree with your husband or your wife or your children or your parents. But in those moments of celebrating something, it creates a moment where you can leave aside these things, and you can find yourself in harmony, celebrating with the other one, which usually you disagree with. And this is a very interesting thing and moment and experience for a relationship. Doesn't matter what kind of the relationship it is. You discover a basis in which you can start restore an intimacy of the relationship, even though with those they might disagree with. You know, Plato was saying that you can learn more about a person in 1 hour of play than in 1 hour of conversation. I think it's true for us, and I think we should use it more often because we need it. Let me give you an example a little bit different than the celebration topic. But when I disagree with my wife, usually during evening, and I know that it's not easy to finish the discussion nicely that evening because, you know, the Bible said you don't leave your anger until the sun is going down. And I usually tell her something like this, you know, let's sleep, let's take a nap, let's sleep together, because in a way, let's sleep in the same bed and sleep, not talk too much. We will finish this discussion tomorrow because we don't have the energy right now, but we'll do it tomorrow morning. But also there is a thing with the night, you know, it's just when you are so tired, you're sleeping, you're recovering your energy, and it's easier to solve all the problems. So what it seems as a disagreement, it can be solved easier in the morning. I think celebration has the same it's like the same tool. When you laugh together, when you do something nice together, when you celebrate something, it's opening a door so you can manage the disagreements you have more easily, because with the same person you laugh with, you disagree with, so you have a common ground somehow, so you can build from here. Also, another benefit is that the celebration refreshes our perspective of other family members. You know, while we likely encounter frustrating interactions with family members, celebrations teaches us that the same person can laugh. You know, sometimes you think that your husband, your children, your teen is more like grumpy all the time. No. But when you create this moment of celebration, when you use those moments, you realize that they are nice human beings. Actually, they have an inner thing that is nice. And we learn a lot of new sides of the people with whom we celebrate. And also, we learn that when we celebrate together, we celebrate the same thing, even though we have disagreements on other things. We can disagree and celebrate. For me, studying about this topic, I think it was the main discovery I made. Celebrating, you discover that you can have a disagreement with somebody, but also you can celebrate with that person. Because we can disagree and live in peace. It's possible. And celebrations are the moments and the times, events that help us to realize that we can disagree and love. Even though it's earlier in the presentation, I encourage you to find as many as possible ways and moments to celebrate. Why? The fifth element is that celebration will energize your family, because it's in a way, it's renewing vitality of life in the relationship. When we celebrate accomplishments, relationships, efforts, we encourage continuing effort. When your wife is saying that she's proud of you, it makes you feel like you want to do it more and more. And when you give a hug to your wife and you tell her how amazing she is and how much you love her, and you make a special moment for her, like, I don't know, a meal in the town, a restaurant or whatever, I think it's something that we miss too much. Why? Because I think we all need and enjoy being recognized and acknowledged. And every time we celebrate the effort or the achievement, this thing keeps us doing and desiring to try more and more and do more. So every time we celebrate everything we can in every way we can. I remember sometimes in the early years of the marriage, we were a little short of money. We didn't have so many things, and I tried to bring my wife flowers, and she said to me, instead of flour, can you bring me, in Romania, it was very expensive 20 something years back, during the winter to eat, here, I forgot the English name. Rebecca, can you help me with
Yes,
the
tell me.
ardei?
Pepperoni, paprikas.
Yeah, paprikas, yes, sir. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Paprika. They were big and red, and she loved it so much. And I remember that I came home instead of flowers with the paprika in my head and tell her, I love you so much. I want you to have this. And she was so happy. And I always try to tell her that. And it's it gives you, it boosts you in a way, the things you can do for one another. Also, celebration reveals and strengthens your family's priorities and values, because we celebrate those things that we value, and we engage in those things we celebrate most often, because it will increase behaviors that matches our priorities. And it's something that it should be done, and it would be nice to be done, because it enforces, in a way, it helps, it strengthens the things in us, in our partners, and especially in the children. For children, it's so important to have these celebrations. And also, the seventh reason is that because celebration creates an upward spiral of positive experiences and joy for your family. It will help your family and my family toward a future of more success and joy. Who wouldn't want to be the right thing when you know it will be acknowledged, to do the right thing when you know it will be acknowledged and celebrated? You will do it again. You like to do it again. You love to do it again. It's like, it's not just making you feel better, but also it gives you a drive to do it more and more. So those are the seventh reason I discovered for a celebration. But I have something more to say to you about this. I told you in the beginning, and I like to say it again, and that is, healthy families celebrate, and celebration creates an even healthier family. But there are some things we have to know about this topic. At least for me, it was important to make the difference. There is a difference between family traditions and celebrations. A celebration is when you do something special for an important event, occasion, or holiday. It's something that you are doing it to express, to mark the event, to make it memorable. And there are many different things and ways that you can do for celebration. If you don't have ideas, I recommend you books about this, especially Karen's books. She has so many ideas how to do it, and how to if you don't have the idea, maybe you are like me. I don't. For me, those ideas, they're ideas that they are not coming naturally. It's not something I think and it's there. I have to find it. I have to think about it. But it's always a difference between celebration and traditions. Tradition is a handing down of information, beliefs, or customs from one generation to another one, like Christmas, like what can I say? It's something that your family is doing all over again, all the time, so they will pass down to the next generation something you want to share with, to pass by. But it's a different thing than celebration. Yeah, in my mind, I had to make this difference, because sometimes they can be together. I mean, they can be simultaneously, but also we have to realize that there is a differences. The main reason I tell you that this is that we don't have to use only the main tradition moments to do things for our families. you can use whatever moment you feel like, and whatever event you like to use, or something that it's important for your children, for your spouse, for whosoever you feel like. It's a moment you have to celebrate that. You don't have to wait for Easter. Don't have to wait for Thanksgiving. You don't have to wait for Christmas to make gifts or to say some nice things or to gather together. I want to tell you that, and I think you know already that for a healthy for emotional health, having celebration moments, and it's very important. It's helping people solving the tension and make it through the moments which are difficult and stressful. So we need to have those celebration, not just on the big moments of the year. Also, there is a difference between family routines and celebrations. Family celebrations carry a special significance for all family members involved. It's a difference from everyday family routine, but let me give you an example. Let me explain a bit about routines. Family routines are often basic activities that are necessary to keep the family unit functioning. A family dinner on I don't know, Sabbath evening or Sunday evening or whatever you feel like, or every evening, it's part of a family routine, for example. But having a family dinner at a favorite restaurant for mom's birthday, it can be a celebration. It's something that you are doing usually in your family, which is a routine, which is very nice, which is very good, but you have to make it special to be a celebration. It has to be something meaningful there. It's not just a meal you are usually having in your house. You have to make it a little bit more than that. So there is a difference between family routines and celebrations. Usually family celebrations and traditions can provide comfort and security for children, even if a main source of their stress originates from within the family itself. Family celebrations often occur during holidays and special events, but as I said, they can, and I hope and I pray and I encourage you to have them not in just those moments, but even if your children are grudgingly participating in your celebration events, they will someday appreciate the effort that was put into them. You are giving your children so much more than the activity itself. You are passing on family values and life lessons. When you are observing your family celebrations, remember there is a deeper meaning you are instilling in and providing for your children. So even though sometimes the family has problems or disagreements or difficult moments inside, source of stress in the relationship, having those celebration can provide comfort and security, especially for children. Also, I would like to share with you some common family celebrations, and I split them in three categories. The first one is religious celebrations, and not everyone or everybody is religious, and not all the families are participating in religious traditions. But there are families that do participate in religious holidays and ceremonies, and they will find that there is a profound meaning in celebrating, for example, baptism, weddings, funerals, and Lord's Supper, and all kind of religious celebrations. And for me, it's important to remember also, and it can be a special moment, the opening of the Sabbath and the ending of the Sabbath. the special meal in the Sabbath. I think there are some religious celebrations which are very important and very nice. Also, there are cultural celebrations, but culture means different things to different people. It affects the way you think about the world. It will drive you toward what you consider which is important, and it will influence your values, and it will shape the decision we make. Some cultural celebration can be religious or specific to a certain country or a certain region. It's not the same everywhere, and it's normal this, and we have to have the wisdom and also the openness to understand that and accept that. Also, there are some family-specific celebrations, which often doesn't have nothing to do with anything greater than the individual family unit. But this doesn't mean that they are less meaningful to the family. I don't know, a night movie for your family, a special meal cooked on a special day. I don't know, maybe a vacation together, or maybe a spot or a place where you can go with your family and have a good time and relaxing and bonding with the loved ones. Also, I would like to talk a little bit about a topic that I think, or a moment that I think it's sometimes a dusty and outdated celebration. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel that sometimes we forget about this opportunity, this special day that God created, especially for a celebration. We have many perspectives, many views on Sabbath, but I think the main reason God put the Sabbath in for the man or for this earth, it's to be a celebration, to be a moment when you leave behind all the stress, all the grunges, all the things that it makes you unhappy or tired or stressed or whatever, and enjoy and celebrate. And I think Sabbath, it's one of the best way to celebrate and to make the family and the relationship and the context nice for your family. And I hope, and I hope, and I make a proposal, if I can say this. We could have a meeting only on Sabbath as a celebration. It's something that we can cherish more and more, because for us, Sabbath, it's very important. I think we will do that one day. I discovered this saying. I don't know who said it, but I would like to give it to you, because it's very interesting. Give yourselves and your children both roots and wings. Sometimes it can seem like the whole world changes overnight, every night. Divorces, blended families, single parents, tragedy can make us feel like the family unit that many of us are coming from, it's a thing of the past. Often our family celebrations and traditions seems like the only thing keeps us together. But now, with so many families spread across different countries, it can be difficult to get the time together to pass down or take time in those once familiar rituals. I can tell you, for Romanians, this celebration sometimes can be a problem, because we have many families which are splitted. Mom is working in Italy or Spain or England or whatever. The father is at home, or the other way around. The father is away and the mother is home. The children it's without one of the parents, or he is staying with their grandparents. And sometimes this situation, it's not so easily managed in those times we live now. But what it means, what I realized that this saying, its meaning, the meaning of this saying is that sometimes we have to allow ourselves to grow and change and accept differences and adjust as the time comes. For some, they can be desperately hard to do it, but it's essential. We have to find way to give roots, I mean, to pass by and celebrate things that are important, but also we have to realize that the times and the world we live in needs sometimes to take the idea that we have to adapt sometimes, to change things sometimes, to create new celebrations sometimes, to invent, if I can say this, new tradition, or we have to adapt or find new ways to reach the same goal. So we have to give ourselves and our children both roots. We need things we have to count on, but also wings. We have to realize that we have and we can change. It's not easily to find suitable celebration and traditions all the time. Society is changing, the traditional family is changing. There is a range of blended families, different culture, different religions blending together in today's modern families. And this can add challenge of a variety of opinion and feelings to take in account. So when our expectations are different from others, sometimes traditions and celebration can lose their joy and instead cause conflict, can cause disappointment and also this resentment. It can become a challenge to hold tight to the long-held traditions and celebrations of our culture or your culture, religion, or family or origin. And while it's understandable why we hold so tight to those special memories, holding too tight can cause problem. And the celebration become a burden. And the tradition become, no, maybe tradition become a burden and celebration become a moment of conflict or something that is not very happy. But the most beautiful thing about family tradition and celebration is that they belong to you. One mother, I discovered one mother saying something like this, and I quote, "But as my son so beautifully put it, when I baked a birthday cake for him, which looked quite a bit less than perfect, it was one of those moments when I wondered if I should just replace it with a cake from the store. The boy said, 'Mom, this is so good because I can taste the love.' She said, and I quote, 'It's a beautiful phrase used by him to describe just how much it meant that I've taken the time to bake something meant for him. The creating of birthday cake, it's our celebration, not because my baking is a strength, but because of the love, the eagerly awaited ritual, the familiarity, and the linking together of years of repeated experiences. It's not something that can be bought in the shop." End quote. For me, this is one of the nicest quotes or the image I can use. I discovered to use it just to say that celebrations in the family, in the relationship, is the most beautiful thing because they belong to you and you can do whatever you feel like. You don't have to compare. You don't have to do it as somebody else is doing. You don't have to wait for a certain event to do it. You can choose and you can use all the time you want, all the events you like, and all the moments you can, just to tell the other ones, you know, I love you so much. I care so much. It's so important. I'm so happy. Shared traditions and experiences are often part of the glue of the strong family, creating positive memories and warm emotion and experiences that can last more than a lifetime. Rich, familiar, special, eagerly awaited traditions and celebration can be a settling experience, bringing a movement of calm, which contrasts beautifully to a daily life that may be full of constant change and business. We need this. We need this, and we will love this if we are doing more and more. The problem is sometimes that we wait that others will do that, and we don't have the will or the, but the Bible says it's better to give than to receive. Celebrating means that you love somebody so much, you care so much about somebody else is so important for you, that you use every possible occasion you have to tell him or her, you are special to me. I love you so much. I care about you so much. You are so special. Even though it's a sport event, even though it's a musical event, even though it's a, I don't know, it's a grade in the school, it's a prize somewhere, it's a moment of, every moment can be celebrated. And every time you can tell the other one, I care, I love you, you are so important. So as humans, we remember the special connections, the experiences of family celebrations, more than toys and gifts. So I have a proposal for you. I have something I want for you. I want to tell you. Please share experiences that are familiar, treasured, and special for you and for your family. You don't have to do it in the way it's not you, but do it in your own way. I don't know. If you don't know how, there are so many ideas around that you can use. Because I want to end my presentation with a quote I discovered from somebody which is a professor at Harvard Business School, and I like it very much. It says something that I want to leave you with. Whatever the ritual is, and however small it may seem, it helps people to really get close to one another. With some rituals, we don't even know what we do them, but they still work. So celebrate as much as possible. Use every opportunity to say, I love you and I cherish you. And I tell you something, it's like hugging. I always say that if you want to receive a hug, it's very easy. Give a hug. I've never met a person that until now that I give a hug and I don't receive another one. It's back to me, But usually we are waiting that somebody will do the first step. Please, whatever you do, whatever you feel like, use every opportunity to say, I love you and I will cherish you. And I cherish you. And I hope that your experience will be as mine. I discovered for the first time in my life how it is to be celebrated. And I tell you, it feels so good. Thank you very much.